Hello and welcome to Community Service Spotlight. I'm your host, Bud Qualk. Today we've got a great show. It's Paducah Lifeline Ministries. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Today we have the Director of Public Relations, Carol Lipp, for Paducah Lifeline Ministries. How are we doing today?
Good, thank you.
I'm glad to have you.
Thank you.
Now, Paducah Lifeline Ministries, that's a long title.
Yes, it is.
What does that, what do you do? What are your services? Okay. What do you?
Paducah Lifeline Ministries and Ladies Living Free, we're actually two ministries. We're one ministry, two locations.
Okay, I've heard both those names, but
yes.
they're tied together now.
Yes, yes they are. What we do is we are a faith-based rehab for men and women who struggle with alcohol and substance abuse.
Oh my. Oh my. That's a big problem these days. From what I hear, and they talk about the numbers, but the numbers I always think probably are a lot worse than what they're saying, because there's a lot of I guess victims, or whatever you want to call them, that are out there that are not reported because it's secret or private, or people don't know. It's like a lot of other diseases. They can only talk about the ones that they know about. So.
You know, it's no respecter of person. When you get to alcohol and substance abuse, it could happen to anyone. You know, I spoke recently at a school, surrounding school, and I asked 500 students if they had been affected by drugs or alcohol in some way, and all 500 stood up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's a big problem. I mean, we have a huge problem on our hands, and our main focus is to get them spiritually well and mentally fit.
Yeah. I've seen some of the testimonies before, and it's lonely. They go off by themselves, and many times they don't have anybody. They can't tell anybody about their problem, so it's really a lonely situation.
Well, the disease of addiction is a shameful addiction.
Right.
You know, it's a taboo subject. You get to where you have all kinds of great friends in the beginning. You've got these the party guys, the people that you hang around, and then before long they are not even around anymore, and you are left alone. You're left alone with a bad addiction where you just didn't think that would happen to you. You think when you started it was just a little fun.
I'll just try it.
Yeah, just try it. So, I mean, and it ends up to where jails, institutions, and death is where substance abuse usually lands them. And we just hope we can get them back to their original self.
A lot of people in jail just for that. Our jail system is really bubbling out of control, and it's mainly because of the drugs, as far as what I can see.
Yes.
Instead of rehab and those type things, which there's a lot of rehabs out there that I think maybe not 100% really rehabs, if you know what I mean. I know that people get out of jail free to go to a rehab for all different kinds of things, not even just drugs. For you know, a person runs around their wife while they go to rehab. Well, I don't know how that works. But
you know, I think for substance abuse, you must step out of the world for a moment. You know, it's kind of like with us, you get a moment with God, just you and Him, and it teaches you good moral conduct. Some of us never have been taught any moral issues, you know, and you're taught. You get to be taught something for the first time for most of them. And a lot of them, they do just want to get out of jail. We accept a lot out of jail, but something clicks.
Yeah. Every
single time. We're planting a seed with every person that walks through that door. We know that we're planting a seed with them.
And they're not alone. I think that's one of the big things. They got people that they can rely on to help, and it's with a lot of addictions. You know, you can't do it by yourself. It's almost impossible. Cigarettes, alcohol, any of those things. Once you get hooked, it's hard to get off by yourself, and it's a proven fact that. But I'm talking to the choir, but it's really, you need help. You need help.
Paducah Lifeline and Ladies Living Free is really based on love. You know, if you are, when you walk into the program, you are loved instantly. They want to hug you and kiss you and love you until you love yourself. And that's what it's about. You can curse somebody until they are blue in the face to try to tell them what's right and what's wrong. But you can love a person until they love themselves. It's a total different scenario.
Yeah. Start having respect for yourself again.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you lose so much, your self-respect, your identity, who you used to be. You don't even remember who you used to be. And so when you walk into Paducah Lifeline and Ladies Living Free Broken, not understanding that even if this will work, I have seen I've seen some incredible stories of brokenness that only very few people would understand. I can tell you, Bud, that the hair on your arms would rise up of the stories that people have actually been through. And what led them to their addictions was their environment. They grew up in it.
Yeah.
Parents of addicts and alcoholics bear children of addicts and alcoholics. You know, it's just a never-ending thing. The cycle is hard to end. So what we hope to do is break that cycle so that when we're helping just one individual who walks into our program, we're not only helping them, we're helping their spouse, their kids, and their future.
Yeah. And it's not like the thing that you say your parents, if they're druggies or alcoholics, but also just friends. If you hang out with the wrong company, and growing up, I can remember, I didn't realize it at the time, but sometimes I hung out with the wrong people, you know, and you start doing things, and you say, well, they're doing it, so I can do it. It's so easy to get into that.
Peer pressure is a lot of it when they first begin. Is, are you cool enough or to try this, or you better try this, or we won't hang out with you, and those kind of things, you know. But to me, that's adolescent, and I know that at adolescent we've got to watch what we're doing, but we're talking about hardcore addicts and alcoholics who have suffered years and years of abuse, years and years of addiction, abuse from parents, sexual assaults, molestations. You would not understand believe the impact of the people that we get that come through there. And not only are substance abuse broken, they are broken from many, many other things.
Yeah, and it takes over your whole life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let's change subject just for a second. We'll get back to it.
Sure.
How did you get involved with Lifeline? Did you?
You know, I have never been able to tell someone actually how I got involved without crying. So if you bear with me if I shed a tear or two.
No, you're fine. You're with friends here.
You know, I suffered for 14 years a meth addiction, and when I tried it, I certainly didn't think that it would end me to where I went. When I first tried it, I thought that I was smarter and stronger, and that I could do more things, and it lied to me. It truly lied to me, because I didn't understand and I didn't know that it would lead me to a place that was very dark, a very, very dark place. My addiction took me to places I didn't want to go, kept me there longer than I wanted to stay, and do things that I'm not proud of. I have spent time in jails, in prisons. I just couldn't lick it. I could not quit. I got to a point where suicide was on my daily mind. I thought of, for 5 years, every day, I thought, if I can just end this today, I would dream of taking my car and going off our guardrail, you know, just wanting to end this addiction so bad, but didn't know how. I can't explain it. I wish that I could explain the disease of addiction to someone who's never been there, but I don't think that I ever could. I don't think you can understand how much power that has over you. You are totally not the same person. So when I walked into Ladies Living Free 6 years ago.
It's okay. It's okay.
Very desperate for change.
Yeah.
Very desperate for change. Them ladies loved on me, Bud, until, and I didn't understand it. I thought, why are these people loving a sinner like me? Why do they want to spend any time with me?
Complete stranger.
A complete stranger. And they taught me so much far more than I have ever been taught in my life. They taught me that love was free. And they believed in me. That's the thing. You know, when you don't have anybody that can believe in you, and they believed in me, that was just mind-blowing. It was like, you're talking to me. I've been everywhere that you haven't been. I've been in jails. I've been in prisons. I have been in prisons in my own mind. I did not think this would work. And it did. And what happened for me was, when the day I graduated was a whole person. I was completely whole. I wasn't missing anything. I wasn't broken anymore. There was still more issues, and there still is. I mean, you're always working on yourself, always. Mm-hmm. But I was a total different person. And the funny thing is, I thought, you know, they're never getting rid of me. So Carol stuck around. I was there every day for the first year. I would stop by and talk to everybody. And before long, I was teaching a class, teaching aftercare for the girls who come back once a week. I was teaching Walk of Repentance, which is a wonderful class in second phase. And then just volunteered my time as house mom, did all kinds of community service work while working a full-time job.
Oh,
and then 2 years ago, they came to me and said, I got a job for you. So I guess that I stuck around long enough till they gave me a job, and so my title is Director of Public Relations. So I get to go out and meet the community, get to meet people, and really get to change the taboo subject of drugs and alcohol addiction. You know, get to change the face of it. Because I mean, if you look at me, I don't think you see a drug addict. I don't think you understand. No. Most people don't, but that's who I am. That's who I was, rather. So that's how I got involved. I mean, it was a personal experience for me. And I'm not sure if mascara's running, is it?
No, you're looking good.
Okay.
I can see that, you know, it's a little wet, but they're looking.
Yeah, so that's how I got started, you know. It's a personal experience, and I knew that it worked. I knew that this program worked, and every intake I would be there, and I would love on these girls that were coming in, and I had a purpose for once. You know, my purpose was being fulfilled. Like, I knew that my purpose was to help other individuals, and that's what it's about, a brotherhood and a sisterhood of believers helping other people.
Brotherhood and sisterhood, I like that. Yeah, that wraps it up.
I have sisters, so many.
Yeah. Well, they had long enough time to get to know you before they offered you the job.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
They knew that you would be a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that worked out really well.
And they encouraged me along the way. I have spiritual leaders that talk to me and tell me right from wrong still. I mean, I'm not, you know, I love that. It's true friendship.
Now, that's a full-time position, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh my.
Yes,
okay.
it's a full-time position.
Okay. And we never got around to, I wanted to get around to your contact information. Where are you located? Telephone number?
Sure.
Or want to volunteer or whatever?
Of course, we have 2 locations. The one location is our men's facility called Paducah Lifeline. It is out on off of Highway 60. And our website, you can go to our website, www.paducahlifeline.com. You can download an application on there, and that'll get you started. But that's our men's. The phone number there is 270-443-4743. And the phone number for the women's facility is 270-448-0961. Again, you have Paducah Lifeline is the men's facility. The women's facility is Ladies Living Free. One ministry, 2 locations.
It's all one package?
Yes.
Okay. And then, say for instance, I think I need some help, or I'm somebody else that knows somebody that needs some help. I go online and fill out an application, you said? Is that?
You can definitely do that. You can go online and download an application print it, and then send it in. Of course, you'll want to call and check on that application. We have many applicants and very little room.
Okay. So you've got a waiting list?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. There's always a waiting list. There's always more applications than there are beds available. But you can go online, and if someone's in jail, they can actually have someone call for them, and we'll send it to them in jail. We actually do interviews at the jail. We'll go to the jail and interview, because after you fill out an application, you go through an interview process. We really want to see if you're ready. We want to make that first judgment to see if you're ready for change. 0 to 10, how willing are you? And so we hope that a face-to-face meeting with them people will give us a better idea of who needs to be there.
Yeah. If you never change, you can't change them unless they want to change.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. It has to be from you. Yeah. Nobody can do it for you.
So if you think there's a chance you need help, go ahead and get on the waiting list.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't wait. Okay.
Yeah, don't wait. I mean.
Yeah, and if you just change your mind later, you don't have to do it. You can get back off if you know.
Yeah, certainly.
If you start doing okay on your own.
The thing of it is once they fill out an application, every 3 months is our intake. We don't do continuous intake. Our program is set up for every 3 months. That person gets to come in every 3 months because our classes are 3 months long. We have 3 different phases. So our first phase is intense. Our first phase is very intense. They go through 13 classes a week.
Oh my.
Yeah, in each class they have lots and lots of homework, because they want them, of course, to be taught, but them to teach themselves.
Yeah.
So they have lots of homework. They do community service around this entire community. Our men and women go to Salvation Army and help serve there. They go to the community kitchen and help serve there. We've done Habitat for Humanity. We've done, the Alliance group. We've helped them. And when you're in a substance abuse, it's a very, very selfish disease. You truly think of only yourself, because that's all you can think about is that drug. So when we get you out of that setting and we put you into our facility, we want you to do community service. We want you to start feeling good about yourself and that you can help others instead of yourself. So our first phase is set up that way, where they do community service, 13 classes. Of course, they go to church on Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night. So they're very, very busy. Very busy.
Keep them busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then our second phase, they get a job. They get to work. They get to work full time during the day, and then they have night classes at night. And again, they do Wednesday night service, Sunday morning service, Sunday night service. They get to go home on passes on Saturday, some for 4 hours, some for 8 hours, and then gradually up to 12 and 24 hours. So we gradually let them go back out and do their thing at home. And our third phase is set up where they come back once a week for aftercare. Of course, we want them to come back more than that. It's a mandatory once a week, but we want them to come back as often as they can, sit in any class they choose, have an open door where they're never alone, come in and get prayer, come in and get refreshed and renewed. And so it's an open door policy where we're from. So again, that's 3 different phases. It's 9 months total.
Very intensive. That sounds great. Like a lot of good stuff in there.
Yes.
Yeah. So that leads me right into, you have a lot of people that work with Paducah Lifeline, either volunteers or do some of the employees get paid?
Yes, we have some paid staff. We have five paid staff at the men's, and then we have 5 paid staff at the women's. The women's have 3 part-time staff. So, but we work on volunteers. The women really have a lot of volunteers, and where we're lacking is the men. The men definitely need volunteers all the time. There's nothing like a man who can show another man, take him under his wing and show him exactly how to be a man, because some of them don't know. So we need more mentorship. That's a 1-hour-a-week commitment to come out and spend time with one individual, take him to lunch, be his friend, be his shoulder to talk to, and so forth and so on, just to help them get through. Mm-hmm. It makes a big difference. So That's exactly what we're looking for at this point.
Now, I can see women volunteering to do that more than men would. That's like a big brother.
Yeah.
My son does a big brother, and I did it for a little bit. I would think you'd get more women volunteer, but you can't.
You do.
Women can't volunteer for the men, or men can't volunteer.
No.
Okay,
No.
yeah, I can see where that.
My office is at the men's, but I'm strictly in the office, nothing more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I want to get across too that most people think in order to volunteer where we're at that they have been where I've been, that they can't help me
Right.
or others, and that's not true.
Yeah.
That's farthest from the truth, because when I went into the program, there was not one person that had been a drug addict before, not one.
Oh my.
They were women that I wanted to be like. You know, I looked up to them, and I wanted to be that woman all my life. I just didn't know how. And they actually showed me how.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
it's a misconception.
Well, the volunteers, how do I become a volunteer if I was wanted to be a volunteer? Do you go online again and there's an application for volunteers also, or do it just make the phone call?
What we would like you to do is come by our office, and you'll fill out a volunteer form. It's just a short form, and then we need a letter from your pastor stating that you actually go to church and do those things, and then you can sit down with the director. We have a men's director, Mike Horn, and a ladies director, Lori Fort, and you can sit down with them, talk with them, and they will do some short little interview with you, and then find the right placement for you.
Okay. And you said pastor. Okay, I'm a Catholic. Mm-hmm. Is it religious specific?
Nope.
Or?
Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
We are not one specific religious doctrine. Well, there's a wide spectrum.
Jesus wasn't either.
Yes,
right.
exactly. There's a wide spectrum of who comes there. Really, we just teach Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, we want to point them to the answer, and the answer, of course, is Jesus. So that's exactly who we point them to.
Okay. If you aren't really religious or very, very religious, I don't know what the adjective I need to use, you still can help them and
Sure.
and teach them.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, you know, if you we want someone, like a character reference, I guess you could say, that will come up, because when you allow someone to come up to your facility, we can't let just...
You don't want a murderer come
Yeah,
in there.
I guess you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
We have to be somewhat picky. So,
Yeah. Well, I understand. I was going to say you have to do a background check. You know, a lot of things I get involved in, you got to have background check.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't quite go to background check that far, because if we did background checks, then we'd have we wouldn't have any clients. We wouldn't have any clients.
Right.
And a lot of times, I mean, even with my background, even though I have a background of a record, it's really been wiped clean by Jesus, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if I continued to prove myself, it was wiped clean with them.
Yeah.
So they don't see me for my past. They actually see me for what I'm doing today. And they taught me that I can do that and that they can do that. So
It improves your background check. If you did
Sure.
a background check years and years ago and compared it to what your background check would look like now, it'd be
exactly.
completely different.
Completely.
That's good, yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah. Okay. How are you financed? Are you strictly donations, or do you have fundraisers, or
And that's a biggie.
the biggie?
That's a biggie. We have been fortunate to have a lot of community help. Our community is wonderful. We live in a wonderful community here in Paducah, and so we get ours from individuals. We get it from churches. We get it from fundraising. We do a golf outing. We do.
Hey.
We do a golf outing every year.
That's gotta be fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun. And of course, we have an annual banquet every year. We do a Fred Paxton Fun Run. We do that. There's several different ways, individuals, businesses, churches, so many different ways. There's never enough, but
Never enough.
never enough. But
Yeah,
we
especially if
keep
you got
going.
a waiting list.
Yes.
You know, as long as you got a waiting list, you could use more.
Yes,
you know.
always,
If you're looking
always.
for customers, you really probably don't need any more.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. How do I donate? Say I'm gonna give $50.
I tell you what,
How would I do it?
you can go on our website, and we have a PayPal on there. And it's as easy as anything. You just www.paducahlifeline.com, and it'll show you steps to take to donate through our website. You can also make donations through the mail.
I was going to say, there's a number of wealthy elderly in this area that
Yes.
probably don't, some of them don't use a computer, or that would be
Yes.
hard for them.
So you would want to send it to Paducah Lifeline at P.O. Box 7652,
7652.
Paducah, Kentucky 42001.
Okay, 762. What was it? Okay, say that again.
P.O. Box 7652.
Okay, it would be 42002 then.
What it? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Well, anything that goes to the post office box is a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in my
I
neighborhood.
think I kind of guessed at that.
Yeah, my neighborhood's 1, and then there's 3 if you're on the other side of Lone Oak Road, and then 2 is the post office box. Yeah, I get that mixed up. I didn't know that for a long time either.
Yeah.
Even though I use the post office box all
Right.
the time. Yeah. How come this 2's on here all the time? Well, that's okay. So we got the volunteerism and the if you need help, we got that taken care of.
Yes.
And let's go through the contact information one more time before I forget. Where are your locations?
2806 Morgan Lane is our men's facility.
2806 Morgan Lane.
270-443-4743. That's our office number.
Okay.
2000 Bloom Avenue is our Ladies Living Free. 270-448-0961.
And the website is
www.paducahlifeline.com.
PaducahLifeline.com. Not
Yes.
Paducah Lifeline Ministries, just the Lifeline this time.
You can get either or.
Either
and
or.
it'll bring you right up.
Yeah, the Google will bring
Yes.
it on up. Bring
Yes.
up 10 of them
It's
probably.
fortunate, yeah.
Yeah.
You can go on our website and learn more about us. There's lots of testimonials on there. There's a lot of who we are and how we do things. It's a wonderful website that we're fortunate to have.
Are you responsible for the website? Because it's got to be updated and all that stuff.
No,
before you
we
get
have a
somebody
wonderful young
guy.
young person who
Young
does that,
person.
Lauren Watson. She works at the at the women's facility, and she is a whiz.
Okay, we're finally out of time, doggone it.
I know.
And this has really been a great show, and I
Thank
you for sharing all
Yes.
this and being here today with us.
Thank
And
you for having me.
You're so welcome, and we'll maybe come back again sometime.
Yes.
And we'll thank our viewers. I'm your host, Bud Qualk. Until next time, it's Community Service Spotlight.